Welcome to this practice, maybe about 30-35 minutes. We'll get a bit into the hips, some strength, some flexibility, some surrender. We'll end in Shavasana. So thank you for joining me. We'll start in mountain pose, so I'll meet you there. Your feet nicely planted, a little movement to start here if you'd like. Maybe shift your weight forward and back, maybe even swing your arms forward and back, or wiggle through your fingers, or roll through your shoulders. Maybe look around, space maybe that you know very well, but you might kind of catch a glimpse of something with a different perspective, different light on it, or something that maybe you've kind of not looked at in a while. And then eventually begin to find a little bit more stillness, a bit more steadiness. Maybe fix your gaze somewhere in front of you, or even close your eyes if you'd like. Allow your arms to relax down by your side. You might invite a bit of external rotation through your arms, your palms slightly turned forward. And then feel your feet grounding. And then feel your breath happening. It's been there all along. But now bring a little bit more attention to it. Notice the inhale, the arrival of air into the lungs. Notice the exhales, the leaving of air. And then notice that cycle, that repetition. You might notice that there is movement associated with your breath. You might notice the sound of your breathing. You might notice some other sensations as you breathe in and breathe out. And then try breathing a little bit more through your nose. You might be able to lengthen just a tad your breath, making the breath cycle a little slower. And maybe a bit fuller too. And then use your next inhale to gently open your eyes and bring your hands to rest at your chest, palm against palm. From here, lower the chin towards your chest, your gaze on your fingertips, and then invite a little space between the center of the palm. A little bit more push through the finger pads. And take another breath in. And then on your exhale, guide your right ear towards your right shoulder, finding a stretch through the left side of your neck. And right here, you might find a bit of movement. Your chin moving away from your chest, and then your chin returning towards the chest. And then as you're ready, bring the chin back towards the chest, coming back through center. You're looking back at your fingertips. And then guide the left ear towards the left shoulder. Now a stretch through the right side of your neck. And then again, you could invite some rotation here, looking towards your left shoulder and then looking away, maybe towards the ceiling. And then as you're ready, chin comes back through chest, stretch for the back of the neck. And then we're going to send the fingers towards the ceiling, and you might follow your hands with your gaze as they lift. With your next exhale, lower the right hand down, find a side bend, pause here. Your left arm is reaching over, your left elbow could be bent. Your right fingers might walk down that right leg. And then push down through that left foot, awaken that left leg. As you inhale, return the torso through center, arms might touch overhead. And then on your exhale, left arm down, same idea on this side. Those left fingers might walk down. Maybe that right elbow is bent. Try drawing your right shoulder slightly back. And then again, awaken that right leg, right foot pushing down. And take another inhale. And exhale. As you breathe in, come back through center. Now interlace your fingers overhead and turn the palms towards the ceiling. Give yourself a whole stretch here from the fingers through the palms, through the wrists, through the elbows, the armpits, the side ribs, the waist. Push a little bit more through your feet and see if you can get a little taller. Another breath in. And then as you exhale, swim those arms behind you. Interlace the fingers, bend the elbows to start with, draw elbows towards one another, squeeze shoulder blades, and then try to keep that as you extend your arms. From here, you could stay or you could explore taking your hands away from you and then bringing them back in. And try to keep your spine, your torso stable as you do this, so the movement is coming from the shoulders, the arms. And then release that, reach your arms up once again. And then on your exhale, sit down in an imaginary chair. You could keep your arms lifted, turning the pinky fingers slightly in. Put a bit more weight into your heels, a little less into your toes. Maybe even wiggle those toes a little bit and then softly land them on the mat. Take another breath in. And then on your exhale, we're going to fold. So we're going to swim those arms behind us as the torso goes towards the thighs. As the head drops, the legs straighten any amount. And even those hands might reach up towards the ceiling. And then we're returning to chair pose, swimming those arms forward and up, bending into those knees and lifting the torso. Again, folding over those legs. Maybe fingers reach up as the crown of the head drops. Again, chair pose, arms forward and up. One more, just like that, folding. And coming back up into chair, we'll meet there. Resting hands at the chest, interlacing those fingers and rotating the wrists in one direction. And then in the other. Pause that with your next inhale, straighten legs, reach your arms tall, side bend as you exhale. Come back through center, breath in. Take it to the other side. Come back through center, inhale, forward fold, exhale. On your inhale, your hands to your shins or even higher for a halfway lift. And as you exhale, fold. If it's comfortable, drop the head. Inhale again, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Another one like that. Inhale. And now on your exhale, fold. Plant your hands and step your feet back into a downward facing dog. Just for a moment here now. Breath in. And on your exhale, lower your knees to the mat. A table pose. Your hands more or less under your shoulders. Your knees more or less under your hips. Float your right knee and begin to circle through that right hip. And you can invite that right knee to move a little bit more out to the right and maybe up. A practice of possibility here, so just see what's available and respect the boundaries that your body is placing today. And then moving in the opposite direction. A few circles. And then with your next inhale, extend the right leg all the way out behind you. And now cross right foot over towards the left as you tap the floor. Inhale, bring the leg back. And exhale now to the right side and tap the floor. And then again, back through center and to the left and tap. And center, and to the right, tap. One more, inhale, center, over to the left side. Inhale, center, over to the right. As you inhale, come back through center, and on your exhale, back to your table pose, both knees down. Inhale, now cow pose. Think about belly lowering, chest coming forward, gaze might lift. Exhale, round, reversing all of that. Chin towards the chest, space between your shoulder blades. Again, inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. A couple more, and now focus on your pelvis. As you inhale, think about that tailbone lifting. And then on your exhale, that tailbone tucking under. One more, inhale. And exhale. And then find your neutral spine. Take a moment just to press a little bit more through the finger pads. Add a little bend through the joints in your fingers. And then float that left knee and begin to circle that left hip. Finding the rotation available here, your thigh bone in the hip socket. Maybe inviting that left knee to go a little wider if that's available, a little bit higher, maybe a bit slower too. That will involve a little bit more strength and less momentum. And then when you're ready, take it in the opposite direction. And always coming back to that breath. Reminding yourself that the breath is still the basis of the practice, even though now we're moving in more obvious ways. Sometimes the movement takes over. Make sure the breath is still happening. When you're ready, extend that left leg all the way out behind you, and then cross that left foot over to the right side and tap the floor. Inhale, bring it back through center. Take it over to the left and tap. Again, center. To the right side, and center, and to the left. One more, back through center, tap, and center, and tap. Bring the leg back through center, bend that knee, and return the knee to the mat. Take an inhale, cow. And now on your exhale, find your cat spine. Come onto your fingertips, walking your hands a bit closer to your knees, and exaggerate the rounding through the back body. Notice the compression, the closing of the front body. And you could even visualize the pubic bone, belly button, lower ribs coming closer together. Another breath in and out. And then as you're ready, return onto your palms, and from this table pose, tuck your toes and move into downward facing dog, lifting your hips up and back. Maybe lengthening your down dog a tad. Adjust your stance as you need to. And take a full breath in. And take a full breath out. With your next inhale, make your way to the top of the mat. And on your exhale, fold over your legs. Hold on to opposite elbows and then bend into the right knee as you straighten your left. You might even rest your torso on that right thigh. Quite the stretch for the back of the left leg, so modulate it. Make it work for you, not too much, not too little. And then when you're ready, switch. Left knee bends, right leg straightens, any amount. Maybe resting onto that left thigh some. Maybe the head can relax a little heavier towards the ground. And then as you inhale, bend into both knees. Let your arms and head be heavy as you unroll the spine to rise all the way up to stand. As your head lifts, bring the shoulders up by your ears and then soften them down the back. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. And exhale, side bend. Inhale back through center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Plant your hands or on the floor or on blocks. Your right foot is going to step all the way back. We're coming into a lunge. Your hands are framing that front foot. You've got to bend into that left knee. And then you're pushing away with your right heel. But rather than your right knee and thigh dropping towards the floor, you're trying to lift away from the floor without lifting your hips. Think about length from crown of the head to that right heel. Take another breath in. And then on your exhale, with control, lower that right knee all the way down. You might choose to come onto the top of the foot. Hips are heavy forward and down, but then a little engagement through the inner thighs. With your next inhale, lift your chest, your gaze. And then on your exhale, into half splits, hips back, straightening front leg. And then we'll move a few more times forward and back. Inhale, forward, into your low lunge. Squeeze through right glute. Exhale, back, half splits. Another one, inhale, forward, maybe a bit more lift, chin gaze. And exhale, take it back. With your next inhale, come forward. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Find again that strong lunge. Take a full breath in. And then step that back foot forward. Halfway lift, top of the mat. Exhale, fold, drop the head. Inhale, chair pose, bend the knees, lift the torso. Exhale, bring hands to your heart. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Now on your exhale, left foot steps back. Same thing here, your low lunge to start with. Back knee is still lifted, but you've got your hands down. Right knee is bent. And then you've got that strong back leg. You're pushing away through the heel, but you're not letting your knee or your thigh drop towards the floor. It's like an imaginary diagonal line from the top of the head through your shoulders, through your hips, and all the way to that back foot. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, slow, bending into that left knee as you lower it down to the mat. Maybe onto the top of the foot. Inhale, we're lifting chest, squeeze left glute. And then exhale, half splits, straightening any amount, that front leg, hips back. And then again, inhale, we come forward. Exhale, we go back. Another one like that. Inhale. And exhale. With your next inhale, come forward. Tuck your back toes, lift that back knee, find that strong stance. And then step that back foot forward, halfway lift and fold. Inhale, chair pose. And exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, center. Other side, exhale. Inhale, center. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale once again. Plant hands, step your right foot back. Again, it's your low lunge. This time we're going to make it a little bit stronger. So option, perfectly fine to stay, or to become a little lighter on your hands. Maybe your hands hover, maybe one hand hovers. Maybe you swim your arms back, reaching those fingers towards that back foot as the crown of the head goes forward. Maybe you swim your arms forward, arms in line with your ears. Now fingers are reaching from that back foot. Strengthen that back leg. One more breath here. And then on your exhale, release the hands and slowly release that back knee down. Take an inhale, lift through the chest. And then as you exhale, straighten front leg, coming into your half splits, but we're pausing there. So now walk your hands back. Slide that left heel maybe a little forward as you lift your toes, pointing them up towards the ceiling. Your hands might be here on blocks. You might even make fists with your hands. Sometimes that's a little nicer for the fingers, for the wrists. And then think about that left hip coming slightly back, that right hip maybe pushing slightly forward. And then encouraging a neutral spine. And for some of us, or for most of us, that will mean kind of drawing the shoulders back, the shoulder blades maybe coming a little closer. And take another breath. And one more here. And then from here, coming back onto that left foot, bending into your left knee, walking your hands forward. And then we're going to keep the right hand down as we bring the left hand onto that left thigh. We're coming into a twist. So you can use your left hand on left thigh as leverage, push into that thigh, and begin to turn your torso towards the left. Push the floor away with your right hand, so try not to collapse into your right shoulder. And maybe free up the neck and you look over your left shoulder, if that feels good, if that's available, if it allows you to stay with a full breath. One more inhale. Exhale. And then return your torso to center, and then we'll lower that left hand to the inside of that left foot. So you might walk your left foot out a bit, coming into a lizard lunge. You could stay on your hands. You might come onto blocks or maybe onto forearm, right forearm down. Maybe the left forearm comes down too. Pausing for a few breaths, allowing a little bit more release and surrender here. Maybe even your left knee drops a bit towards the left. You might even come onto the pinky edge of the left foot. Breathing in and breathing out. We'll take one more here. And then begin to make your way out. Maybe that left knee comes in. You come back onto your hands if you were on your forearms. And then from here, we'll take it into a table pose. So you might walk your hands closer to your knee, your right knee, lifting your hips, and then swing that left foot all the way back, bend the knee, and bring it next to the right. In your table pose, take an inhale, cow, and an exhale, cat. And then another one, just like that, breath in, and out. And then one more inhale. And this time on your exhale, tuck your toes and downward facing dog. Hips up and back, head drops, maybe looking left to right a few times. And then from here, walk your feet to your hands. Once again, top of the mat, find a halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, your chair pose. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, rising all the way up. Exhale to a side bend. Inhale, back through center. And exhale, other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time on your exhale, it's the left foot that's going to step all the way back. Finding your lunge on this side. Again, we're starting with that strong lunge. So you're pushing away through the heel, pushing forward through the shin, Finding that length through your spine, getting a little lighter on one hand or both, maybe hovering those hands or maybe bringing them by the side body, reaching towards that back foot. Take another breath in, staying here, or swimming those arms forward by your ears. Stay, breath out. Another inhale. And then on your exhale, lower your hands if they were lifted and lower that left knee all the way down, maybe onto the top of the foot. Take an inhale as you lift the chest. And then on your exhale, straighten that front leg, half splits, walking your hands back, maybe sliding that right heel forward as you draw the toes towards your shin. Maybe you're on your fists, looking for more of a neutral spine. Thinking about that tailbone, maybe slightly lifting. As long as that's feeling okay, there'll be a stretch sensation through the back of that right thigh, but you don't want it to be overwhelming you. You don't want it to shorten your breath, so you want to be able to find that full breath in, that full breath out. One more. And then with your next inhale, bend into your right knee, plant that right foot, walk your hands forward, and we're coming into this twist. So your right hand is going to come onto your right thigh, left hand stays down, floor or block. And then as you push the hand into the thigh, begin to turn your torso towards the right any amount. Maybe the gaze also turns over that right shoulder. And try not to collapse into that left arm. Pushing away, creating some space here too. And another breath in. And out. And then we'll return the torso to face the floor. That right hand now is coming to the inside of the right foot. You can scoot your right foot out to the right a bit more so it gives some space for your torso and your shoulders. And then your lizard. So maybe you're staying here on your hands or you're coming lower onto your forearms, maybe on one, maybe on both. You might allow that right knee to drop towards the right, rolling onto the pinky edge of that right foot. You might find that one side is different to the other. There's a bit more space or a little less. We're going to invite a little bit more release and surrender here. Let's take another breath in and breath out. And then we'll make our way back, bringing that knee back in, coming back onto hands, and then lifting the hips, taking them back. As you walk your hands in, swing that right leg all the way back and bend the knee and table pose. Take an inhale, cow. And take an exhale, cat. And then from here, swing your feet to one side and then plant your sit bones all the way back behind you and your legs in front of you. We'll bring the feet wide and the knees wide. We're going to frame the hips with the hands. You might recline back some. Take a full breath in, broaden chest, and then drop your knees towards the right side as you bring your left arm all the way over and turn towards the space behind you. Soften through your toes, soften through your face. Breathing in and breathing out. And then as you inhale, return through center, left arm comes back, knees come back up. And then let's drop the knees towards the left side, right hand comes over. And again, find that turn towards the space behind. And softening through the toes. Anywhere else that maybe could soften, release, effort that's not necessary. See if we can let it go. And then we'll come back through center, right arm returns, knees up, and we'll make our way down onto our backs. So as always, you might roll onto one side and then over onto your back, or you might slowly release down, reaching your arms forward as you lower section by section your back body onto the mat. Once you get there, your feet come a little closer to your sit bones, your arms by your side, and we're coming into a bridge pose, lifting those hips. You could stay, or you could scoot your shoulder blades underneath, interlacing your fingers. Finding a little bit more press through the heels of the feet, even lifting your toes. And then imagine that you were pushing not only down, but also pushing the heels of the feet away from the hips. You might notice that gives you a little bit more stretch through the back of your neck. It's quite a bit of work through the legs. And then release what you have. Hips come all the way down. And then feet wide and let the knees rest against one another. You can bring your hands to rest on your belly. Make some adjustments to your spine. See if that lower back could come a little lower towards the ground if it's pretty lifted. Just find a comfortable place for the lower back. And then see if you can lengthen just a bit more the crown of the head away from your tailbone. Finding just a bit more space in the back of the neck. Allowing your shoulder blades to be heavy towards the ground. And then with your hands on your torso, noticing once again that there is breath. That there is movement with that breath. And maybe if you really tune in, you can hear the sound of that breath. If you'd like to spend Shavasana in this shape, if this is feeling good, stay. If you'd rather spend Shavasana lengthening your legs out, bringing your arms down by your side body, definitely an option. If there is another shape that you prefer to place your body in to spend these last moments of practice, go there. These last moments of practice now are about not doing, about letting ourselves be. So we practice that too. And this is that chance, that opportunity. The few moments here, Shavasana. If a longer Shavasana is available, feel free to take it. If not, if you're ready to move, bring your awareness to your breath, the movement already happening with your breath. And then just make it a little bit more obvious. And then use your breath to find movement in the rest of your body in any way that feels good to you. We'll eventually make our way into a seat and we'll meet there to end practice. You might choose to rest your hands in your lap or bring your hands and rest them at your chest. Maybe your eyes stay closed just a little longer. We take this moment to acknowledge and appreciate the practice itself. And then to acknowledge and appreciate our own practice. To acknowledge, appreciate, remember those who have practiced with us. To acknowledge and appreciate all those who have made it possible. And we end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.